This week, Gare and I got to talk with the Lucinda Berry about her new made for Audible story, This is a Safe Space. It is so good. You know how much we love Lucinda here, so we just look like we're falling in love with her the whole episode, so prepare yourself. But this is what it's about. Jenna, who runs a successful private therapy practice, still struggles with trust issues of her own. She's made a promise to stop snooping in her husband Colten's phone, but sometimes she can't help herself. One night, she discovers a troubling exchange between him and his cousin Bodie, who's one of his closest friends. A dancer from a bachelor party they both recently attended is threatening Bodie, claiming they crossed a line sexually and that she'll expose the truth to his family if she doesn't get what she wants. They don't know much about this woman or how far she's willing to go, but Jenna might. Lexis Chardonnay, the stage name of the dancer from the party, is one you don't forget, and Jenna's heard it before from one of her clients. Caitlin is a medical school student who dances on weekends to put herself through school. Jenna's been her therapist for years, except she hasn't seen her for 3 months. Not since Caitlin stopped showing up for treatment without explanation. As Jenna begins to listen back to their past sessions, desperate for answers, a more complicated picture emerges, and she must decide who to trust as her career and her family hang in the balance. For audiobook fans, this one is very produced. It has a full cast. When you're listening in on the therapy sessions, it really sounds like you're listening to something on a tape. It's super voyeuristic, and Lucinda talks about how that was on purpose and what it's like writing a story with audio specifically in mind. So let's hear from Lucinda.
So this week I am here with Lucinda Berry and Gare. As you all know, there's no way Gare could. I mean, Gare's actually the one who set this up, but if Lucinda's here, so is Gare. So I am super excited. We're gonna kind of mostly be talking about This is a Safe Space, and a new audiobook. Is it called an audio novella when it's shorter, or is it audiobook?
I mean, we still call it an audiobook,
Okay,
but it is a novella. So it is a novella. So it's shorter length. I think the running time is like right around like 2.5, 3 hours. So it's much shorter.
Yeah. So we're going to be kind of talking about that, and then all of our other burning questions for you that I know Gare is just like ready to get into.
Yes, I am. I'm calling it an audiobook because it was my first audiobook. And oh my goodness. What a pleasure.
Now the bar, but see, it's not a regular audiobook, right? So like now your bar is set so high.
I know, that's what I was telling him.
You know what I mean? It's like you have like celebrity talent doing the voices. It's fully produced. So you have all the sounds. Like we've set your bar for audiobooks very high now, Gare.
Yes.
I honestly though, like I am a physical reader. I think the only person that I will trust with an audiobook now is you though. You know,
well,
like
thank you. Thank you.
Like,
so what did you think? Having it be your first experience with an audiobook, I want to know.
She's interviewing us.
It was
right. I'm like, I talk about me enough.
I let her do it. I let her do whatever she wants.
You're right.
What was
She's
the
my queen.
difference like for you?
It was very exciting as an experience because I'm used to like true crime podcasts, right? But my attention span when I'm listening to anything is very short because I'm like, what do I have to do next? Like I have to take my dog out. I have to feed him. I have to like, I have 3 jobs. So I'm like, my mind's always like going in different directions. But with this, it just kind of felt like this like very dark and disturbing, soothing blanket that like helped me relax. And I loved like the full production. Like I was like texting Kate all of these, like I was like, even the tapes, like when you hear these tapes from this therapy session, they have this like little crackle to them that you almost like feel like you're listening to the tape. It was just so exciting and so much fun. I absolutely loved it.
Well, I'm glad you say that because the therapy sessions are actually like my favorite parts of the entire thing, right? Because you have that you can do, like you hear the little nuance, like you actually feel like you're listening in on somebody's therapy session, which is exactly what I wanted to happen with the audiobook. And I feel like it
Yeah,
did. Do you know what I mean?
it
Because you
did.
do, like, you feel those, the pauses and like the actual therapy room space, if that makes sense.
Did
Yeah.
you write it differently than like other books? No, with that in mind, like, was it kind of a different process for you?
Yes, absolutely. So this, like I was saying, it's a fully produced audiobook, right? And so most, traditional audiobooks are, the narrator is reading the text, right? But in a fully produced audio, it's, there's sound effects, there's scores, like there's really good like voice actors and actresses. And so it's just a different experience. And this is actually my second one that I've done. So I did one of her own last year,
Mm-hmm.
which was the first time I had done one that was fully produced. So when I knew that I was going to do another one,
Yeah.
I was very, very, I took basically everything that I had learned that worked well in the first one and everything that didn't, work so well, and like built on, I went into very differently. And so I knew sort of from the jump that the therapy sessions would be a great way to
Mhm.
play up both sort of the domestic dispense uh, angle within the audiobook setting, right?
Yeah.
So, and it did that. And then the text messages
Mhm.
between Bodie and Colten were also, like I loved that because you
The
could
typing,
hear the
yeah.
The type.
text sounds, right? It
Yeah.
has, every now and then you hear the actual texting. So yeah, I wrote it very, very differently,
Uh-huh.
knowing that this is how it was going to be produced and come out. And because I had done one before. So I was like, okay,
Right.
how do I want to make it, because I'm always trying to make my work better and level up every time. So I'm like, how can we make this more entertaining?
Yeah, totally. Your bar is set very high, Gare. Most audiobooks aren't like this. And there are some that still incorporate a little bit more, but that was a little bit like, for anyone who has listened to Project Hail Mary, that was like the third or fourth audiobook I listened to, and I was like, oh, I've been so spoiled.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's like, if this is, yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's really like listening to a movie, right? It's
Yes.
at that level.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
right.
How did you how did you come up with the idea for this story? And kind of like, did you fit it for this project, or did you kind of know you had a short story in mind?
I really did
Enough.
fit it for this project. So
Mm-hmm.
as soon as I knew that I was going to do another audiobook like this, I actually have a notebook that I keep like a running list of
Yeah.
ideas and various stories and things like that. So when I knew I was doing an audiobook, I pulled that out and I was just looking through like, what are my different ideas that I've had of different things that I want to do,
Mm.
and where in this could I make this work? Because I'm also a kind of writer that like I actually never really run out of ideas. And now that I'm saying that, I'm like knocking on every piece of wood in my office.
You're like, is
But
she never wrote
so
again?
I have always this like backlist of other messed up storylines, right? So then I went into there and was like, okay, what could I do, right? And then part of it was I love the idea of sort of the secret lives of our phones, right?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually what uh the original, it's called This Is a Safe Space, is what the title of it is. But when I was going through my list of ideas, it was sort of under the secret lives of our phone, right? And so I knew that I wanted to do a story that looked into that, and the life that people live like when they're behind a screen versus in real life, and all of the many ways that that plays itself out. And so I was like, oh, that would be a really great way to do this. and work this story, you know? And then how could I do it? And then that's when I stumbled on the therapist idea. And I wanted to have male characters. I wanted to have like a cast of characters again, because I knew that I'd done it before, and I was like, okay, you know, so that was also a piece of it, was I wanted different voices, male and female voices. So it was just a very different process going into it. But I love how it turned out. I'm really happy with it.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. It's when I'm just so shocked because you can take a full-length novel by Lucinda Berry and you have these like little like nooks and crannies of these like reveals and like things that you don't want to happen in this whole like wild adventure that you have psychologically with your books. So the fact that you jammed it into this like short story and it still had that same feel, it was amazing. It was amazing. This is probably one of my top 5 of your stories.
Really? Oh, good. I'm so,
Yes.
because I know you've read my entire catalog, so that
Yes.
means a lot coming
Yeah.
from, you know, I love hearing that from, you know, people
No,
that have
it's
done.
easily in my
I
top
think
5.
this is one of my favorites as well too. I really had a good time with it. I really had a good time with it. So
I was on the edge of my seat and I was like listening, so I was like, I can't even cheat and like skip ahead a couple of pages to like calm my anxieties, because there's this like, you know that something bad's gonna happen in a Lucinda Berry book.
Mm-hmm.
And then
always,
you know that
More
it's
than
going to like
one.
get dark and twisty,
Right.
and you're gonna have these characters and you're gonna be like, no, I don't want you to be the bad guy. Oh, you are the bad guy. No, I don't want you to be like devastated emotionally, but I'm gonna be devastated emotionally. And then there is the Lucinda Berry twist that has never failed once. And this is easily one of my favorite twists. One of my favorite twists, because there's so
I
many.
know, it's
like,
also why it's hard to talk about this one too,
yes,
'cause-
yes.
right? It's like anytime we get into my books, it's like you can talk about the beginning and we get to talk about it in a vague way, but it's like, yeah, it's like this is
Yeah.
but I love the twist in this one too. I will say that.
I love the twist. There are a lot of tropes in this one that I'm not going to talk about on like here because it's a spoiler, but there are so many tropes that I love in a thriller that you combined in this one. And my DMs are always open for anybody when they finally listen to it, because
Yes.
it was just so harrowing. And I was like so sad. And then I was like flabbergasted. And then the twist came. And then I was like, oh my God, she did it again. Yeah, it was one of my favorite ones so far.
Yay.
I love
Yay.
that.
Yay.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
go ahead.
you go ahead. I just rambled about
No,
like,
ask a question. Go for it.
I am just curious on when you're writing a story like this or any of your other stories, is there any point where you're like, I have to reel back a little bit? With like how,
Yes.
because like they do get dark. Well, like the thing is that I always respect about you is that your stories do deal with very dark subject matter, but I don't think that they're ever like overly violent or like too like in your face with like a lot of people who write things that are similar like do for shock value. Like yours is done in a very like elegant way where like it's dark and disturbing, but it's not like, oh, I can't read something like that because it's like too violent or in your face. So like I just think like, how do you walk that line between like dealing with dark and disturbing subject matter but not making it too like grotesque?
Well, I'm always very, very conscious of that in like everything that I do, right? And it's always something that's in the back of my mind. And because I don't ever want to use something that's really traumatic as like a plot twist, if you know what I mean, just
Right.
because it's the thing that would shock you the most, right? And there is, so I really try to shy away from that. And then one of the things that I try to do is to keep as much, so if there's any sort of like, trying to be delicate with my words, like sexual violence or domestic, you know, a graphic fight scene or something like that that might be very, very traumatic, I try to keep a lot of the actual action part of it off the page and only enough on the page to give you an idea of that experience, right? Because most of the time, and I'm trying to think if but I mean, most of the time, it's all about the internal experience of that person anyways, right? Because my stories are usually so character driven, right? So it's like I try to show and tell enough where you understand what that character is going through and experiencing at the same time, that's in a way that's not too like shocking and vulgar. Like it's always walking the line between I'm trying to shock people, not horrify them. Right. So yeah. And I do go way off sometimes. Like, you know, I mean, like I do. That's why I have editors, right? That's why you have other people that are always like, hey, and even in this one, right? There were a couple different scenes. The bathroom scene, that was much more graphic and grotesque initially. And it was like, oh, let's pull out this sentence. You know, and that's why I have, you know, editors that can have another set of eyes that look at it, because they're always, you know, often you have the same goal in mind, right? And so they're trying to shape the story in the same way that I am too. So that's really helpful in keeping me from, you know, crossing over that line and within certain parameters while still telling a good story.
Yes.
Amazing stories.
All of those
Amazing
things still.
stories. I remember when 1 and 4 came out, a lot of people were in my DMs and they were like, because I read like some dark and disturbing books, you know, like I've read like Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter, which was like pretty graphic. I've read a book called Burner by Robert Ford, which is like the darkest thing I've ever read.
What did you call? I'm like writing it down. What did you call it? Burner?
It's called Burner, like a burner phone.
Oh, I've never.
Robert
you just
Ford
introduced me to a new title, Burner. Okay, I'm writing.
I think you will love it. I honestly think you will love it.
So too. Yeah.
Yes.
Once I finish,
you're welcome in my DMs anytime, even if you're just like, "Hey, what'd you have for lunch
like
today?"
I'm not already.
Everybody DM here.
Okay?
It's like a little like Christmas letter every time Lucinda Berry DMs me. But like when people when 1 and 4 came out, like people were like, "How dark and disturbing is it?" And I was like, "I'm going to tell you something about a Lucinda Berry book. Is it's not like graphic." Disturbing and dark. It's a story that is going to like break your heart, put it back together a little bit, but stick with you for the rest of your life. And I think like that's what like people like don't really understand a lot about your stories, and like why I think that you stick out so much as an author, because it's not so much about like the violence or like the subject matter. It's the fact that like your stories like really stick with people. Do you know what I mean? Like nobody's gonna forget Janie.
Right.
Nobody's going to like, you can like list a character and I'm like, oh yeah, like they went through it. Like,
yeah.
So, but yeah, like I just think that that's something that like I really commend you for, because that makes you stick out to me as an author and a storyteller.
Thank you.
I bet most people who listen to this podcast know you're also Dr. Lucinda Berry, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I thought so, but like as I was saying, I'm like, what if I was wrong?
You're like, hold on.
Wrong.
Yes. I have a PhD in clinical psychology.
Yeah. So how did that shape like your whole approach to writing and like starting to write? Just how does that affect it?
Well, I mean, it is kind of funny. I've started talking about this more and more because I always make it sound like I was going along in my life as a psychologist, and then all of a sudden decided one day, like, hey, I'm going to write these really messed up stories, right? And take people on these rides. And it didn't exactly happen that way. Like, I've always been a writer. Writing's always been a part of my psychology journey as well. My research while I was in doing my master's and my PhD actually looks at the role of writing in recovering from traumatic events.
Wow.
So the writing's always been central and core to sort of like the two worlds.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that the same skills that made me an effective psychologist are the same skills that make me a good writer,
Mm.
in the sense that, you know, being a good psychologist requires you to have the ability to like step outside of yourself and
Mm.
into somebody else's skin and world point of view, and see the world through somebody else's eyes other than your own, right? To be a good, you know, you have to be able to do that to be a good psychologist, right? And in the same way with being a writer, you know, part of being a writer is being able to create a character and put yourself in another character's shoes, so to speak, right? In almost the same way, right? Um, so those skills are very transferable, right? Very, very transferable. But like the leap really happened that I actually, during grad school, is when I wrote my first thriller, which was Phantom Limb. And because I read what I write, when I finished it, I was like, oh, this is good. And so that was when I started the journey of maybe, I'd written a good thriller, and I was like, I'd done a lot of like academic writing and nonfiction writing at the time, but I'd never stepped into the fiction world. I'd written a ton of stories and stuff when I was younger and all of that, but I'd never, but so I wrote Phantom Limb, and I was like, this is pretty good. And because I also love the twist in that one too, and that's like
Me too.
my firstborn baby, so she's very close to me. And so yeah, that was then what started the trajectory of then maybe I'll share this story with the world. So that's where it started.
That's so cool.
And here I am. So yeah, it wasn't quite the dramatic, like was going this way and then all of a sudden made a dramatic left. I do make it sound that way because I'm a little bit dramatic, but it was
it's a short pitch. Yeah,
intertwined, you know. So
that's so cool. I was gonna ask, that was gonna maybe be my follow-up question, was if it felt therapeutic sometimes. So that's kind of cool that it's always come from an understanding of how writing can be therapeutic.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll tell you from my research, all of my research always demonstrated significant differences between people that wrote about their traumatic events and people that didn't. So
wow, that's cool.
Yes. And there's also like, right. So, I mean, y'all have read most of my catalog. And so there's always these psychological themes and elements that are in all of, you know, and all of that just pulls from that experience, you know, and it's the reason that I'm able to do that the way that I do. And then I'm always bringing in, what's the word I'm looking for? Like social issues that are actually happening in society at, you know, the same time. So, because I am still sort of like a teacher at heart, like there is that piece of, you know, opening people's eyes to like a different perspective, right? That you can do in psychology, and then you can also do in writing. You know, I just do it a little more sneakily in writing. But you know, you know, it's one of the reasons that I write queer characters, you know, it's because you're like, you know, my book might be like the only queer person somebody ever meets, you know? So
yeah.
That's my favorite TikTok in the world, by the way.
That's
my favorite TikTok.
I love you so much, Gare.
You could like literally like part-time choreographer. Crushed it.
Yes.
Crushed it. It's my favorite. I love it so much. I love you.
I do not have a choreographer, but I live in a house full of
teenagers, I think you are the part-time choreographer.
Like I literally live in a world of teenagers, so I'm, you know.
Yeah.
Here I am.
No, you could be the choreographer because you're crushing it. I love it so much. But that's like something that I always really respected about your books too, is that like, I think that there are so many people, and how do I say this like politically correct, but like there's so many people that like don't believe in trauma of certain things, or they, you know, are on different sides politically and they might not believe certain things. And I think like when you read one of your books that has like social issues in it or something, and like people are like, oh, it's dark, and I'm like, well, yeah, they have deal with like dark experiences, but like this is kind of eye-opening to people who like think that like assault on any level is like something that people can get over in a week, or, you know, like there's not like traumatic things that can happen or have lasting effects. So then when you read a book by you and you like see what these characters are going through, it's kind of like, oh, like maybe I'm in the wrong. And like, you know, now you can kind of like see what people actually really go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a different way, right? Because you're partially removed from it when it's fiction, right? So it's like if you go into something, I'm trying to be so careful with my words too.
We can also cut stuff if we need to.
I know we're all like, but yeah. So, yeah, like it's you can do things there that you can't do sort of like in the real world, like on the page of introducing people to different themes and topics, you know. And I get lots of positive feedback that way too, you know, of like, oh, I had never actually, I mean, especially with like Say We Know on different, you know, just of way people are like, I had never actually thought about that before, you know, or, you know, thought about, you know, people that way before, or, you know, all of those, you know, all of those topics that are heavily laden in my books. So,
yeah. I talk a lot about, well, we all do on the podcast, but like you can learn from fiction. It's not just nonfiction that you learn from. I was just at I was Rachel Harrison's book event for Play Nice, and I was sitting next to someone, and she was like, "What genres do you read?" And so I was like saying them, and then she was like, "I kind of read everything. I just don't read nonfiction because I don't want to learn." And I was like, you learn when you read fiction too. It's okay. But it's like, it's a different kind of empathy when you can like live in a character who's experiencing something that maybe you've never experienced.
Well, and that's the thing. You can have empathy, but like, and I think that that's what shocks people, right? I mean, Say Noah comes to mind, of course, right? Of like, people are just like shocked that when they have the slightest piece of empathy for a character that's done something horrible, right? So there's lots of, you know, instances like that. But then once you've had that empathy, it opens up that human part of yourself versus that like staunch argumentative part of yourself that's you know. So
this is like one question that I know is not a spoiler because it's in the synopsis, but like I think one of the things that like social wise that you kind of deal with in this one is people's misconceptions and judgments of sex work. So what was it like writing a character like that in this, you know, day and age where people are so judgmental about like any sex work whatsoever, and having that character in your mind?
Well, she was one of my favorite characters to write in this. So she was my favorite. Alexis Chardonnay. I think that's in the that's in the description. Okay, I was like, that's in the description, right? I'm not giving anything away. And again, I chose her role very specifically as well too, because she does demonstrate a very down to earth, practical woman that has chosen to be an adult entertainer as a way to make legitimate money, right? And she's putting herself through school that way. And there's, you know, again, I think that you know, people can have a very limited view and judgments of what that looks like. And so this is a delicate way of showing the sort of like the whole piece of that person, right? This is one part of their life that they do, but there's all of this other parts and pieces about them, you know, so it makes you see them as a whole person versus just this one thing that they're doing that you have so much judgment about, you know. And I know a lot of people that make a very good living in adult entertainment, and that's a legitimate choice if that's something that you've picked for yourself.
Yeah, you handle it so delicately, and like I love her so much. I almost used a different name, but like she is just so, she's just such a good character. Like every time she came on the page, I was like, oh, here she is. Like,
and her name, I was like, Lexis Chardonnay, and I did that one too, by the way. That's my name. I didn't have to like ask anyone for it. I was like, that is a great
That was
name,
fantastic.
and I am using
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So, and she was so fun to write. She was my funnest, is that real? More, I don't know, but
We know what it means.
the
So I'm gonna
best.
say yes.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
make up words. I'm a writer.
Yeah. You can
Yes.
do whatever you want.
So yeah, she was
This
so
is a
much
safe
fun to
space. You
write.
can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, I will say that you have never written a stereotypical character a day in your life. Like all of
No.
your characters are so different and like they're so like least what you expect. And she's gonna stick with me for a very long time. Because I didn't read
Well,
the
I love
synopsis.
what you said. I love what you said. They're a good guy. Oh no, they're a bad guy. You know,
Yes.
how you get attached to my character. You're like, oh, they're good. Oh no, they're bad. Oh, they're bad. Oh no, they're good. You know, you never know. You never know.
I've read so many of your books and like you always have like a really like fantastic cast, like whether it's like a small like tight knit cast or you have like, you know, like a lot of like side characters. And even like some of your books in the past, like I'm not going to say which ones, but like I'm like she can't even write like a white bitchy housewife without like avoiding stereotypes, because there's always like so many like layers to peel back with like everybody.
Yeah.
But I didn't read the synopsis to this one. Like I was just like,
Ooh, you went in totally blind?
I have been going in totally blind since If You Tell a Lie.
Okay.
So like when I finished If You Tell a Lie, I was like, there are so many things that like if I just would have went into this blind, that like would have shocked me even more. And so when I decided to go through your backlist, like I just did eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Like I didn't read the synopsis for anything.
Oh, that's so fun.
And it was that is how I suggest everybody.
That is
like if
so
you want
fun.
like
No wonder.
No, it was the best experience. Like that is my advice if you go into a Lucinda Berry book, is like you just, for like your birthday, a holiday, whatever you want to do, you just buy a copy of every single one and you eeny, meeny, miny, mo, or like whatever you need to do to just go in blindly. But like I went in blindly with this one. So when Lexus Chardonnay popped up in my earbuds, I was like, she's just a genius. Like, I absolutely loved that name. And it like, and then her character was like one of the like ones that's going to stick with me the most.
I was actually really sad because when we had to actually start titling the document by its actual title. Now, I mean, This Is a Safe Space is a good title. I actually like the title of it, but the working drafts back and forth was Lexus Chardonnay. So it was like, here's Lexus Chardonnay back, right? Draft.
Yeah.
And it was, it was my favorite. So when we actually had to like switch to calling it what it really was, I was a little bit sad.
Like,
oh.
Since we are kind of talking about your characters, and I agree, they all feel like so distinct. And what Gare said, like they're just never like, they're not really ever archetypes even. How much planning do you do ahead of time? Kind of wraps in the question of like, do you plot? Do you get to know your characters? Or do you kind of like get going and that's how you meet your characters and learn the plot?
Well, so it depends. I am basically a pantser when it comes to the plot and the story and all of that and where that's going. But a lot of times what I will do once I know the basic parameters of the story and where I'm going and the characters, because I tend to have multiple characters in my books, and most of the time I'm writing in multiple points of view. I will, like I have a big whiteboard in my office, and then a mirror that I actually write on that too. But I will do like character, like basically family trees almost, right? I will set out all of my characters. So I'm very much, I don't know if you'd call it like a plotter that way, but I do give a lot of attention to my characters once I know who they are, right? I think I literally, the best of friends has so many characters, and I really do feel a little bad for that one. I'm like, that was a big cast of characters, and I should have given everybody my tree for that, because I literally had this elaborate thing. And at that time I was in my old house and I had a huge whiteboard in my kitchen. I still have a whiteboard in my kitchen. It's just smaller, but
Yeah.
that one was huge. And so on that, the whole time I was writing that, I had made an actual tree of all of the families, because there's three families and three families with three sets of, so three families of three couples, and then three couples that also have children, right? And so that was in my kitchen forever. So I do, because again, because of most of my stuff is so character driven, I do really get into my characters once I know who they are, and they're usually living around my house.
I love that visual.
Yeah,
I love it too.
they're usually living around my house. Yeah,
I just
sometimes I'll cut, I'll do things too where like if it, if it's like if they're like remind me of a certain celebrity, or if I'm like, I'll even like cut out pictures and smack them up. I mean, it really is like the characters are alive in my house. My poor child. Wonder what he'll tell his therapist. My mom did. Like
Gerard Butler is
I mean,
on our
there's worse
refrigerator.
things, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
there's worse things. There's worse things.
Oh yeah.
So
I love how we're like circling back to like the fact that you're like, I never run out of ideas. So like I can imagine, like, I don't know what your sleep schedule is like, but I can just imagine it's very hard for you to fall asleep because like the wheels are always turning. But like I just have this visual of you like writing down on the marker board in your like kitchen and then like stirring your pasta with the other hand as you're writing down these like
pretty
ideas.
much how it goes. Or I'm like on this side and I run over. Yeah. Because you spend a lot of time in your kitchen. It's I'm like, I do anyways. Because I'm feeding a ravenous child that never stops eating, right? So I'm like always in there. It feels like and so it's like when I'm thinking, and I think through like pens and paper. So it just has to come out. It's exactly what I'm doing in my kitchen.
I love it.
Yeah.
Are you ever working on multiple projects at the same time? Because you released multiple books last year. Was that right? Or there's like the audiobook and a book?
Yeah, I'm always working on multiple projects at one time. Like I can't actually remember the last time that there was just one thing that I was working on, but things are often like in various stages of development too, right? So it's like one book, one project I might be like writing the first draft for, right? And then like another one I'm doing like the proofread on or something like that, right? Which is very different. So it's not usual that I'm first draft writing multiple things at the same time, usually, and my team is like pretty good at setting things up of my schedule, up of when things are being delivered and worked on when. So it's not so much like all of the heavy first draft writing happening at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like always juggling multiple projects.
That's wild.
But it's good. I mean, I write best under pressure, quite honestly. Like I like having lots of things happening. So
yeah.
Wow. That is
I know.
I just can't believe you're a pantser.
We're still shocked. We're still back there.
Yeah, I know. Well, because like Kate always asks that question whenever we talk to an author, and I always think that I'm going to have it right, and I don't.
I don't.
I'm like, Lucinda Berry's a plotter. Like, there's no way.
I'm not. I'm trying to look. I'll show you. Let's see.
I love this.
Like, this is one of...
Wow.
Like, I just end up Bookwild. I mean, this is actually very structured for me.
Wow.
Yeah. That's... I don't even know which... Oh, this is Janie. This is Janie stuff going down.
Oh, don't even tell me. Don't. I'm going to spiral.
That one I had... Well, y'all know how much I love Janie. We all love Janie. But so, like, the preface is, like, it's good. I mean, but it's like... You could, I mean, this is actually organized. Like I tell people most of the time it's not this organized. Like if somebody found one of my notebooks, they would like literally never be able to steal my ideas because they'd be like, this makes absolutely no sense.
You're your own encryption.
But to me it does. It's like just arranging like all of the pieces and parts and how they're coming out, and I'm writing this side at the same time that I'm writing that side. I don't really know how to explain that, but
I know, I love it. This is my like Met. Like people want to go to like the Met in New York and like they want to go to all these museums. Like your office would be like my like dream tour to like flip through the books.
We need
I
one of
just
those
can't.
like architectural digests, like Lucinda Berry's crib.
I would laminate every page. I would laminate every
I
single
know
page.
I need to do a little like bookshelf tour again one of these days, because I just rearranged it all again.
I
But
have
it's
to
always
rearrange
very
mine
neat
too.
behind me, because it's like this is the part that I'm often on, you know.
Yes.
I'm not in here when it's like full chaos.
Yeah.
This part is always organized, so it looks
Yeah.
nice behind
that wall
me,
for
as
me.
we know, right? It's like
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is
there are cords
chaos.
everywhere, but you guys
right? We're
are
like,
looking that way.
This is absolute
right.
chaos.
Don't go in the closet. Stay out of my closet. We're not
Yes.
going in there. My closet looks a lot like that notebook.
Yeah. I can't shut this closet door because there are too many packages at the bottom and it won't shut.
Too many what is at the bottom?
There's too many packages of like stuff that I've ordered.
Okay.
So I get packages and I'm like, well, I can't open them right now, or I like just choose not to. So I like throw them at like the bottom of my closet and I just like worry about it another time. And then like when I'm like, oh, I have like a Zoom or something, and I'm like, oh, I can't shut that. So there is like one section that's kind of clean, but when you I was thinking about that too with this is a safe space, like with your character relationships. You explore so many, like even in a short story, that I just like am curious, like, is that something that you kind of, even if it's like in your mind where you like plot ahead of how like you think that they're going to like go in different directions? Or
yes.
is that...
So there's pieces that I map out once I have an idea of where we're going. So I mean, I'm not like a total pantser. I am when it first starts flowing and coming, right?
Yeah.
But then I do have to organize it some, right? Because what happens is, and again, because I write on such a fast schedule, like I've done things, you know, you can write yourself into a corner, right? Where you're like,
Right.
oh, I didn't think this through, and now I've just lost 15,000 words that I have to chop and get rid of, right?
Oh my God.
So I am much more structured and intentional in my writing now than I ever have been before when I started out, right? Particularly because I don't have as much time and sort of like have to be. But yeah, so there's times though where there's like in Under Her Care, right? That book, as I was like halfway into doing it, all of a sudden, there needed to be a whole new character in it. So I was like halfway through writing it, and it was like, the daughter that was in that book, she hadn't existed in any of the original drafts or idea or anything. And then it was like, oh, and so then that changed so much of the entire book, right? So things like that happen. But it's constantly moving pieces that I'm moving around constantly.
So you just generally have like a genuine like, or a general idea as to like where every relationship is going to go.
Yeah. And it's like, and again, like every book is different. So like some books I start with like, I know what the twist is going to be, right? Like I get an idea and the idea is the twist, right? Other books come to me in a scene, right? So like Saving Noah, I knew the twist. Like I knew the twist from the jump, right?
Right.
And that was one of the things that propelled that book. Other ones like Appetite for Innocence, the very first line and scene in that is how it came to me, like initially, right? So the way that they come to me is like always different too, of how they're going to be done. But then once I'm in it, then it is much more structured and organized in where I'm going and what I'm doing, because there's always multiple things happening, as you know, right? So it has to get organized in some way, and it does. I just don't think anyone else would ever understand my organized madness. But yeah, there comes a point when it's like all of the, I do have to sort of structure it so I don't get lost.
Yeah.
That makes sense though. Like that Saving Noah twist still gets me to this day. That makes sense that was one that like you thought of right from the jump.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense though. Well, if we're going to talk about the Lucinda Berry twist, do you have any that you think really surprised you when you were writing them?
Well, Under Her Care did, because that was, I didn't know that that's how it was going to end. I don't know how to say that any other way without giving away that book, right?
Yeah.
So that surprised me. I was like, oh, that's how this is going to go, and that's how this is going to end. So that one I would say was the most surprising for me. Trying to think any other ways. Nothing else really comes to me off the top of my head of how I've like shocked myself. I don't think so. Most of
Yeah.
most of it is like I'm shocking you. I'm like, I don't know if I've ever. I mean, I haven't shocked myself, but I've definitely like written stuff that was like really dark that I was like, oh, that was a little bit too much. Like, even for me, like, oh, that was, let's reel that back in. So that's definitely happened.
Yeah. I think The Perfect Child and If You Tell a Lie and Saving Noah were the one, like, the biggest, like, shocking twist. Like, those are the ones where I, like, threw the book.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm hoping, so it's Her First Lie is the prequel to The Perfect Child, and I'm hoping that, like, you want to throw the book against the wall for that one, too. So, because I think it's, I don't know, it's got another good twist.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for people to read that one too. That one comes out, when does that come out? April. That's my next full length. Length. So This Is a Safe Space is next week almost, because it's the 21st.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which seems unreal that it's almost the end of October. But so This Is a Safe Space, October 21st, and then Her First Lie is April something, maybe even April 21st, which would be weird, but very synchronous if it was. But Her First Lie comes out April 20 something.
That's crazy. I'm so excited.
Well, Goodreads thinks it's March 31st, but that could be wrong, obviously.
That's what it was. Is it still 31st on Goodreads?
Oh, no. That's interesting. You know how sometimes there's 2 expected publications?
But that was the old date.
Yeah, so it has March 31st, and then lower, it has April 21st. So.
What is it now?
April 21st is the other date that it lists.
Is it really? But what does that mean that both my books are the 21st?
Something.
No.
Someone knows numerology could tell us.
People are gonna. One of the astrology or numerology people will have to weigh in. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's the 21st, both releases.
Come on, Taylor Swift. Come on the pod. Answer our question.
Right?
She would get it.
We know it means something. Somebody let us know.
Yeah.
That's your lucky number for.
I guess so.
Bucks now. 1 in 4 was that May 13th, I think?
I can't believe.
Yes, it was. It was May 13th.
Yeah.
You just remember the things.
1 in 4. And that's why it's 1 in 4. 1 in 4, I didn't think that they did the best job marketing it. And that's why you liked it so much, is because you went in blind to it, I bet, as well. Because a lot of people thought that they were going into that book reading about a reality TV show.
I remember seeing that.
Not. Like 1 in 4 is, when you say, it's probably one of my darkest.
That we were just talking about it earlier. I was like, I think it's the darkest ending.
Yeah.
I think probably top 3.
Darkest. And so a lot of people had a very strong reaction to it negatively, but I actually completely understand why. Because if I went into a book thinking that I was going to get sort of a behind the scenes of reality TV, and then it was
I think they thought like
what
popcorn
happens,
thriller, like a bop.
Yeah.
yeah,
Or
you know
like,
that and so yeah,
yeah.
so anyways, but I think that that's one of the things that happened with that book was like
or like a
the
locked room
marketing and all of that
kind of
it was very reality TV focused,
Yeah.
which was probably not the best move.
I
Sorry,
was
any of my publishing team that might be watching this.
I mean, the reviews
But
say
yeah,
you're not saying
so
anything. Like I've seen
Yeah.
reviews that said that too.
right, yeah, and
Yeah.
it that was a lot of what it was is like, wait, this wasn't reality TV, and it's like, oh no, this was not, it was like the setting that kicked it off. But yeah, at the end of it, it's really, it's probably one of my darkest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's easy in my top 3, like of the darkest, but it's also my number 1.
Yeah,
That's my number 1.
I
But I also like, this is why I swear, if you guys follow your favorite authors the way that you follow Taylor Swift, you will not be disappointed.
Right.
Because the only hint that I had with 1 and 4 was one of your TikTok lives. And you were like, I'm working on something right now. It's called 1 and 4. If you know anything about statistics, you already know what it's going to be about. But that's all I'm saying. And you were like, I'm not saying anymore. So like, I kind of knew what to expect with that. But I also was like, it's a Lucinda Berry book. I'm going in blind. I don't care. Like, I know I'm going to love it. And then also because I love your sense of humor, you sent me an arc of it on Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's right, I did.
And you were like, happy Valentine's Day or whatever.
That's probably his best Valentine's Day ever.
That was the best. Yeah. No man will live up to that.
Right.
I don't care if I marry like Jacob Elordi, like he will never live up to Lucinda Berry dropping an arc in my
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day or whatever. It wasn't even Happy Valentine's Day, it was Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah. That was like the best. That was the best.
I did that on Valentine's
That was the best Valentine's Day ever.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was like, this is when you know you've made it on Bookstagram.
Yeah. When it got to the like producing the audiobook, like the narrators, was that something where you were like kind of still a part of it at that point, since you had kind of written it with the voice acting in mind?
Yes, so I'm very much a part of like picking the narrators.
Oh, nice.
Which is hard. It's so hard.
Love
it's
that.
Very hard, because it's hard to go from hearing them in your head to somebody else, right? But yeah, so it's actually a really fun process though. So you have a list of people that are possibilities, and so you sort of say, oh, I think they would be great, or they would work, and then they really do, because it's because it's audio, they really do, then they'll read like an excerpt or read something, and then you listen and hear, and there's like a back and forth of like, oh, I think they would work, or I like them, or I don't like them. So yeah, I do have a lot of say, and that's something that's changed over the years too, is just my sort of ear for the narrators, and putting my own, again, back to the old like getting out of yourself part, but like putting my own sort of like writer, author, creative self, and then just listening as like a listener, right? Like which has then made it easier to like pick, okay, they would be good, them not, them maybe not so much. But yeah, it's fun choosing, and then hearing it come together is also a lot of fun too, especially again with This Is a Safe Space, because it is such a different audiobook than traditional audiobooks. It's even funner to hear what they've done with it when it's finished.
I bet it would be so cool.
Yeah. Every time I read your books, I can hear your voice when I'm like reading them with like all the dialogue, so it was like very interesting to have this be my first audiobook.
Right?
Yeah.
that it's me. And that's one of the things, I'll tell you, one of the things that's changed for me, having done a couple of these fully produced ones, is I read all of my dialogue out loud now, which is even in my actual novels, which is something I've never done before. And it's something that they tell you in like writing classes or writing schools or whatever, which I've never really taken, but they do, like, they're like, read your dialogue out loud. And I had never had done that up until one of our own, which was the first one that I did like this. And ever since then, I'm like, oh, this is why you should read your dialogue out loud, because it really does change it and shift it. And so that's something that I'm sure, like, going forward, no matter what, I will be like implementing in all of my stuff. So I feel like my dialogue's gonna get even better.
Somehow.
Yeah.
It is like dialogue can be so tricky, because sometimes you are reading something and you're like, this is not how, like, not just like, oh, this is like someone from a different area of the country than me. It's just like, I don't think people talk like this. Or like sometimes that happens in exposition, especially in movies, where you're like, nobody walks up and is like, so how have you been since your wife died a year ago? Is it getting better? Like, no one's like giving you all of that in dialogue in real life.
I love that Reese Witherspoon speech where she's like, what woman looks at a man and says, like, now what do we do? She's like, never.
That literally never. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any more questions, Gare?
I have my one very last question.
Good.
Well, I mean, I could have
I know,
of them, but
we'll do this again. This will be our first last.
I'll always just DM her with my questions.
You've got
April. With all of these adaptations of different books, are there any of yours that like you would love to see on the big screen or like as a mini series?
Yes, and so one that I think would be great as a series is Keep Your Friends Close. Especially after like how well people responded to The Hunting Wives, right? This is like a West Hollywood sort of version of that almost.
Yes.
But Lucinda Berry's brain. Honestly, I think that a bunch of mine would do really well on screen. I think This Is a Safe Space would be a great one
it would be so
for
good.
film, right? Because I think that you could, do really, like, I don't know, like like you could do really interesting things with it. I almost just gave away a big spoiler, see? But we've made it through this whole talk with no spoilers.
We did.
I'm so proud of
any of my books, which is impressive. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I would just be happy with any of them making it to screen. And it's so different. But yeah, the one at the top of my head is like Keep Your Friends Close, because it works so well like in an actual like series.
Yeah.
Then you can continue with the characters and all of that, right? And that was sort of how we always kind of pitched that one anyways, was like Desperate Housewives meets, Real Housewives meets Lucinda Berry's brain, so but it's
I think they all would.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Tell
fingers
a lie.
Crossed. Perfect Child would be great.
Yeah, we want to see them all. So
I want to see them all.
Same.
Whoever's listening, make it happen.
All 14,
please.
right?
Yes.
I want to cast them all.
Yes.
I would be so picky. I would be so picky with the cast. That would drive me like. Yeah, I want to cast them all.
That'd be hard. That would be hard.
I would take care of all of your babies if I could cast them all.
I know you would. I know
would
you
take care
would.
of all
You
of
do
them.
such a good job. You do such a good job.
I can't wait for This Is a Safe Space, because I have everything all ready and like ramped up and ready to go, and I'm just like waiting for pub day.
Yes.
So.
Next week.
So
Tuesday.
Yeah. Do you have any time left in your schedule to read? We always ask if you've read anything recently that you loved.
I wish I had, I do a lot of audiobooks now.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they're so much easier.
Yeah.
So I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I wish I had more time to sit on the beach and read, or sit
Oh yeah.
anywhere and read. But I do, like, so I binge read. Shocking. And because I don't do, when I'm like first draft writing, I don't read. I read like other things, but I don't read any thrillers, mysteries, like any
Yeah.
of that when I'm first draft writing, because I just don't want anybody else's stuff in my head.
Mhm.
So like when I have a break where I'm not, or I'm just like editing or proofing or whatever, then I like literally binge read thrillers, right? So then it's like and
Yeah.
I have so much to honestly get caught up on, because it's just like there's so many
Oh yeah.
good books in so little time. But yes,
Always.
when I have a minute, I am like like how people are like binge drinkers, I'm like a binge reader. I'm like, I
Yes.
plow through all the books that I haven't been able to read while I've been writing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I will say, when you read Burner by Robert Ford, when you get to that twist,
Oh, you will hear from me. That's my next one.
You are going to know what all of your readers have felt like reading a Lucinda Berry twist, because that twist, I never saw it coming, and it was like the book was just like so dark and like crazy, but I never saw the twist coming. And then right after was when I read If You Tell a Lie. So I'm so excited. It was like two back-to-back very dark and disturbing twists.
Yeah, sometimes you have some heavy weeks of reading.
I do.
It happens.
And then like that's when I'm like at my like happiest.
Yeah. Right? I mean, what's wrong with us? Same.
It's like, I guess like it could also be like, well, these bad things are happening to these characters and not me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the other night I like was on the couch and I fell asleep watching the BTK killer documentary and had like the best like nap in the entire world. And I was like, what is wrong? Like it was the middle, like that's what puts me to sleep, right? Is the documentary on serial killers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so peaceful. I'm so relaxed.
Yeah, I fell asleep the other night listening to Crime Junkie, and it was like an unsolved case.
Oh boy.
And I was like, it was like the Lover's Lane murders or something. And I was like, just trying to think of like what I thought happened. And then I just like had a very good night's sleep. I don't know what that says about us. But...
Yeah, me too. I was like, I had like the best.
Yeah. I wake up like a Disney princess, like little birds floating around.
Oh man, no, that would be your vibe for sure.
Yeah.
That's why we belong together.
I know, right? I was like, the only person that could be my perfect roommate is Lucinda Berry.
Yes.
Well, if you ever make it to LA.
I need to.
Yeah.
We need to go.
It's been raining all day today. The sun just came out. We've had nothing but rain. So.
I'm okay with rain. I love rain and reading.
I do love rain and reading too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been rainy here too.
Well, obviously we loved it. Gare had his first audiobook experience. I think you might be the only author that could have, there might be a few, but you're one of the few that could convince him to listen to an audiobook. So hopefully now I can convert him to more audiobooks.
Yeah, because one of our
own...
way,
this was so much fun.
Yeah, It was so much fun. One of our own was the audio original that I like really wanted to try, and then it came out in ebook, ebook format. So then I read that one, but this I was like, I'm not waiting. So
That is my just read this one.
5-star review.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I will put a link to it in the show notes, because as of the time that you listeners are listening, you can go buy it and listen to it. And like Gare said, you can pop up into any of our DMs about it.
Yes.
Pop into any of my DMs about anything Lucinda Berry, and I will answer right away.
And I'll see you on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.